But even as the wind whispers across the golden fields, a storm is rising. And what the wealthiest man of the East does not know is that his world is about to shatter. Welcome back, Agents of Wisdom. Tonight, we step into the land of Uz, where a man named Job will face a test that echoes across the ages. The sun slices across the land, spilling fiery gold across the fields. We see a powerful black man standing before 10 tall altars, smoke spiraling upward like tendrils to the dawn. His face is solemn, his eyes lifted. The wind whispers across the golden hills. Wheat bends under its touch, trees rattle faintly, shadows stretch long across the land. Below, a grand estate bustles. Servants move like small ghosts in the last light of day. But high above, on a lone ridge, a man stands still. Job, the wealthiest man of the East. Respected, honored, blessed beyond measure. A man the world called blameless, upright, God-fearing. But while the world saw only his greatness, Job's heart was weighed with something deeper. Fear, not of loss, but of sin. Laughter rises from the estate. His sons, 7 of them, strong, confident, and proud. His daughters, radiant, joyful, beloved. They're feasting again, not just tonight, but every night. One sibling hosts, then another. A cycle of revelry, of family joy, of days without care. But Job, he watches from afar. He sees the wine flow, hears the songs echo into the hills, and wonders, what if they sinned in their hearts? Before dawn breaks, while his children still sleep off their celebration, Job rises. 10 animals, oxen, rams, sheep, 1 for each child. They are brought to the altar. His voice barely above a whisper, hands steady, eyes wet with reverence. If they have cursed God in their hearts, forgive them. Smoke coils into the morning sky. Sacrifice after sacrifice, not for himself, but for his children. Not because they were guilty, but because he was righteous. This was the rhythm of Job's life, interceding for a sin not yet seen, covering what might never be confessed. And yet, even this act of devotion, of vigilance, of love, would not be enough to stop what was coming. Job's voice, low, trembling. Forgive them, O God. If they have cursed you in their hearts, forgive them. Job feared evil, but what he didn't know was that far above, in a realm he could not see, a conversation was about to begin. A wager, a challenge, a test that would shatter everything. Thunder whispers far off. Clouds stir in the distance. Something has shifted. A hush falls across eternity. The wind stills. The stars hold their breath. And somewhere beyond the veil of human sight, a gathering unfolds. Not a dream, not a myth, a courtroom, but unlike any scene on earth. Heavenly beings assemble, not fluttering wings and flowing robes, but beings of fire, of brilliance, of command, eyes like lightning, voices that shake the foundations of time. They speak in purpose, they move in power. This is no choir practice. This is an audience before the Lord Most High, and they weren't alone. From the edge of that radiant assembly, a figure enters, colder than silence. He doesn't stumble, he doesn't hide. He walks like smoke, he speaks like silk drawn across a blade. Satan, the accuser, and he's not out of place, he's not forbidden, he's not even unexpected. And Satan also came among them. Job chapter 1, verse 6. Permission, access, for one purpose only, to accuse. A hush lingers where time is weightless. The accuser steps forward, not timid, not trembling. He moves like one familiar with the floor, a courtroom presence, confident, calculated. The others step back. His cloak stirs, though there is no wind. His eyes scan the throne, but he doesn't flinch, he doesn't bow. Then God speaks, not in ignorance, but in permission. "Where have you come from?" Satan smirks and replies, "From roaming the earth, going back and forth on it." His voice is laced with venom, as if the earth were prey beneath his feet. God asks, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one like him on earth, blameless, upright, a man who fears God and shuns evil." There's a twitch, slight, sharp, as Satan sneers, "Does Job fear you for nothing?" He steps closer. "Haven't you placed a hedge around him, his household, his work, his wealth?" With great poise and confidence, God responds, "Stretch out your hand, touch all that he has, and he will curse you to your face." The chamber is still. The atmosphere cracks with the weight of accusation. Then God replies, "Very well, everything he has is in your hands, but do not lay a finger on the man himself." No more words. The accuser bows, not in reverence but in triumph. He turns and vanishes, and on earth, a breeze shifts. Job, still kneeling in devotion, has no idea the storm has just been authorized. Clouds begin to gather. A servant at Job's gate pauses, looking skyward. Another, in the fields, senses something unnatural in the wind. The animals stir. The altars cool. The silence before devastation has begun, and the watchers in the Heavenlies hold their breath. Then it begins. The first servant arrives, panting, dust in his beard. The oxen were plowing, the donkeys grazing nearby, and the Sabaeans. They attacked. They took the animals. They killed the servants. I alone escaped to tell you. Before Job can reply, the second stumbles in. His face is pale. Fire fell from the sky. It burned the sheep. It consumed the servants. I alone escaped to tell you. Another. Third. Eyes wide with terror. The Chaldeans. They split into 3 bands. They raided the camels. They struck down the servants. I alone escaped to tell you. And then, the fourth. The one who does not raise his voice. His whisper bruises the air. Your children. A great wind came from the wilderness, and the house collapsed, killing them all. Time slows. Ash floats in the air like falling feathers. Job stands. How would we respond? When the call comes, the accident happens, the money disappears, the coffin is closed. Would we curse God or cling to him? If you're still with me, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? This isn't just a story. It's a test, a mirror, a moment that may one day come for us all. Let's continue. He doesn't scream. He doesn't demand answers. He tears his robe, he shaves his head, and then he falls to the ground. Not in rage, not in despair, in worship. Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. Again, there was a day. That word Again, it matters. This was not the first time the court assembled, not the first time the adversary walked in. Again, there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord. And just like before, Satan came also among them. Same courtroom, same throne, same challenge, but now with more tension. Have you considered my servant Job? There is none like him, blameless, upright, reverent, and still holding on to his integrity. God emphasizes that. Still, holding on. Though you incited me against him to destroy him without cause, Job hadn't just passed the test. He passed it publicly. But Satan doesn't back off. He leans in, skin for skin. A man will give anything to save his life. Touch his flesh, strike his bones, and he'll curse you to your face. This was no longer about wealth or children. This was about survival. And then, the permission is granted again. Very well. He is in your hands, but you must spare his life. So Satan went out from the presence of the Lord, and he didn't waste time. He struck Job with painful sores from the soles of his feet to the crown of his head. The kind of pain that doesn't let you sit, doesn't let you sleep, doesn't let you breathe. And so, he went to the only place that didn't burn, ashes, and he took for himself a piece of broken pottery to scrape himself with it. A man once clothed in legacy, now clothed in pain. But that wasn't the hardest blow. She'd stood beside him in the blessing, and now she speaks from the bitterness, and from behind the curtain of grief. She stepped forward, the one who had buried the same children, the one who had watched the flocks vanish, the one who once danced at his side, his wife. Do you still hold fast to your integrity? Curse God and die. She said what many think, when the pain no longer makes sense. But Job didn't flinch. He didn't yell. You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we indeed accept good from God and not adversity? The sores were real. The silence was long. But in all this, Job did not sin with his lips. Agents of wisdom. If you were standing in the ashes, your body broken, your world silent, and even the one closest to you had given up, what would you have done? But Job didn't curse. He didn't lash out, not even at her. You speak as one of the foolish women speaks. Shall we accept good from God and not adversity? He didn't have answers, but he had a boundary. He would not accuse the one who gave him breath. And in all this, Job did not sin with his lips. Agents of wisdom. When nothing makes sense, and even the people closest to you speak from pain, will you still worship? Will you still believe? Job did everything right. He honored God. He prayed for his children. He walked in integrity, even when no one was watching. And still, the storm came. Not because he was cursed, not because he was weak, but because heaven trusted him to withstand what others couldn't. Pain didn't mean punishment. It meant purpose. Job didn't know that his story would echo for thousands of years. He didn't know his response would give strength to the broken. And maybe that's you. You've been faithful, and yet it still hurts. But just like Job, your story isn't over. The suffering may be real, the silence may be loud, and even the people closest to you may not understand the weight you're carrying. Remain steadfast, remain faithful, keep praying. Be blameless in the storm, even when your body aches, even when your soul can't form the words. Shut out the noise. Shut out the whispers that say God has forgotten you. Shut out the voices that say, just give up. You may never get all the answers, but know this. God doesn't let the righteous suffer without purpose. Sometimes He's proving something in heaven. Sometimes He's preparing something in you. But always, He's with you in the ashes, agents of wisdom. Pain doesn't mean you're forgotten. Delay doesn't mean you're denied. And just like Job, if you can survive the silence, you will witness the restoration. So don't miss the next video. That's where the restoration begins. Thanks for watching. Stay strong. Stay faithful. God bless you.